Recently, one of our clients made over 100 million naira doing off-plan real estate investments. And that is why today I've decided to teach you and show you how you can properly do off-plan real estate investments in Nigeria to get good profits on your investments. Now, before I get into the nitty gritty, I want to quickly say that off plan investment is one of the easiest ways for you to get into the real estate market in Nigeria because you're buying a property at the construction phase of the project, and that typically comes at a lower price point compared to the going rate or the going market rate of a finished project of that same caliber. My name is Maryam Shuaib. I'm the founder and lead broker at ROL Realty, and I've been in the real estate space for over 6 years. And during that time, I've worked with investors both in Nigeria and in the diaspora to acquire safe and verified properties here in Nigeria and help them make good returns on their investments. Currently, we are managing a property portfolio worth over 1 billion naira, and in the past 3 to 4 years, we've done transactions over 5 billion naira in the real estate market in Nigeria, in both Lagos and Abuja. So, to today's discussion about offline investment, there are several ways that you can verify and do your due diligence to ensure that you get the best property in the off-plan market. But let's take the easiest ways that are also some of the critical steps that you should take before you get into off-plan investment. We've already discussed what off-plan is. It's buying a property at the construction phase of the project. Now let's discuss what you need to do before you even say you've done an off-plan investment. Number one, define the purpose of the purchase. Before you buy any property, before you start thinking about what location, what company you want to buy from, you need to determine what the purpose of that property will be. Are you buying a property because you want a place of primary residence for yourself and your family? Or are you buying because you want to be able to rent out the property to responsible families looking for a safe home for themselves? Or are you looking for a space where you can run a short-let or a short stay service apartment business profitably? When you define the purpose of your purchase or the purpose that you want the property to serve, it will help you streamline and eliminate useless or time-wasting properties and developers, and even avoid getting into the wrong location from the get-go. So defining the purpose of your purchase, defining the purpose of your property is the most critical step that you need to take. Now that leads us to the second part. Once you've defined the purpose of your purchase, then you now go into your Google search and start looking for the best location for that purpose. For example, you look at the best location for short-let apartment business in Lagos, the best location for short stay apartment business in Abuja. You'll find a lot of responses because many people have already put in articles and blogs talking about these investments. So that would help you determine the best location for you to even look into before you start thinking of which project or which property you're going to buy in that city. The reason why you have to do this is because location can make or break your investment. If you buy a property for short-let business in a location that is more oriented towards family living and conservative lifestyle, you might not make any money and even be forced to sell that property at a loss. When we're doing investment, we want to ensure that all our interest is well protected. So that is why it is essential that you define your purpose and then check for the right location that best suits the purpose that you want your property for. Because you don't want to go and buy a primary residence for your family in a location that is for students' accommodation. You understand that students have a different lifestyle from what a typical conservative family lifestyle would look like. You understand what I'm trying to say, right? Now, the third thing you want to do is to find a professional realtor that operates in the location that you have selected. So if you have selected Lagos mainland for your purchase, you want to find a realtor that operates in Lagos mainland and properly understands the market in Lagos mainland. If you have selected Abuja, like the high-end neighborhoods in Abuja, you want to find a realtor that operates in that high-end market to deal with because they already have a deep understanding of the market and they can help you to find the best projects by the best developers that will best suit your needs. You see where we're going now. So when you find that realtor, you engage them and be open about what your needs are and what your budget is, because that will help you save time, save your own time, and also save their own time and help them get you the best properties without having to scroll through an endless list of different properties that may not necessarily be what you're looking for. It will save you the cost of having to go for inspections to the wrong properties that will never even fit your needs or your purpose for buying the property in the first place. Now, when your realtor has given you a list of properties that you can choose from that closely align with the purpose that you've given them already, what you want to do is now the fourth thing, which is to verify or do a background check on the developer handling the project. Before you even start talking about, let me see the title document, you want to know who the developer of that project is, because a property can have a good title, be in a good location, and the developer can ruin that project for you. They can literally destroy your entire investment. One, if they are the kind of developer that cuts corners in their projects, or if you're the kind of developer that takes forever to deliver a project. So you may buy a property thinking you'll be getting your handover in 12 to 24 months, and eventually they don't hand over that property for you for the next 6 to 7 years. That could lock down your money and even put you in a position where you have to be paying lawyers to chase them up and down just to get your money back. We don't want to be in that situation. So you need to do a background check on the developer. Find out what are people saying about the developer of this project that I'm looking at. And you want to confirm, have they done off-plan property before? If they have, what is their standard of delivery? How long did it take them from start of the project to the finish of the project? So all of this information will guide you to say, okay, yes, this developer is a good fit, or this developer is a bad fit, before you now start looking at their project in your said location. Once you verify the developer behind the project, the fifth thing that you want to do is to now assess the project itself. Whether the project has already started and the construction is ongoing or is about to start, you want to first verify the title documents on that property, because no matter what you do, if the title on that property is not right, or if the property falls under government acquisition or is in a place that they do not have a right to build, or they have exceeded the boundary of where they could build, then you might be at the risk of losing your money entirely. Even if they deliver the property successfully, the government might just be around the corner ready to demolish that project. So you want to avoid any of this by engaging a professional surveyor and a lawyer. The reason why we're engaging a surveyor is because the surveyors are the best suited for things related to picking boundaries and verifying titles for your property. The lawyers will also help you with a legal search to confirm that there is no mortgage on that property, so you're not buying trouble. Now, there is a caveat, because sometimes the developer of that project might not necessarily be the landowner, and this happens in the case of joint venture. Typically, joint ventures happen in Nigeria where a developer and a landowner agree to partner. The developer puts in their own funds, their own resources to build the property for the landowner in return for getting certain or already agreed units of the property that they build. So, for example, they could agree to build 10 units of two-bedroom apartments in Lekki Phase 1, where the landowner would take 5 units and the developer will take 5 units. So in that case, if you find yourself in a situation where the developer is selling based on a joint venture agreement, you want to confirm that they have a power of attorney from the landowner that allows them to sell the units that they want to sell to you. And the best way to do this is to get your lawyer to review the documents, verify that they have a power of attorney and they have a right to transfer ownership to you, because you don't want to pay money to somebody who does not have the legal right to transfer any ownership to you, because at that point you have entered one chance and you may not even be able to recover your money quickly. Because nowadays, when some of these fraudulent people deal, they run away from the country, and even when you engage law enforcement agencies, they might not be able to track them down. So let us avoid that by ensuring that our lawyer has verified all the documents. Now, the sixth thing that you want to ensure that you do in your process of securing the property is to get an engineer to go to the site, especially if the property is already under construction. The reason why you should do this is because sometimes engineers will be able to see if there's a foundational problem with the way that they are building that project, and they'll also be able to assess the quality of the blocks, the building materials that are on site that are being used for that project. So sometimes this can help you detect if a developer is trying to cut corner and put you at risk, or if there's somebody who really builds to standard. You know, we've already verified that the developer does standard, but that does not mean that we'll still not verify that they will deliver standard on this particular project that you're keying into. Once you've done your site inspection with your engineer and the engineer confirms that everything is good to go, the next thing you want to request for is the timeline for the project and a draft of the contract of sale, because now we're getting to the point where we close the deal. Yes, you're about to buy your property. So you have to request for the timeline of the development so that you understand how they want to build the project and how long they will take and when you are expected to get the handover of your property. Requesting for the timeline is very, very essential so that as you are meeting your own end by paying your installment as at when due, you want to ensure that the developer is also developing according to the timeline that I've set for you. Your lawyer would go through the contract of sale to ensure that whatever is in the contract is well balanced and protects your interest and your investment. And the timeline will also help you to be able to keep track of the development that's taking place on the project. Once your lawyer has verified the contract of sale is good or they've made all the necessary adjustment that needs to be made, then you're now ready to make your first deposit and secure your property that best suits your needs and your purpose. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the easiest way for you to invest in off-plan property safely anywhere in Nigeria, whether you are here physically in Nigeria or you're investing from the diaspora. And all of these processes that I described are exactly what we did for our clients who made over 100 million naira buying off-plan property in Lekki Phase 1 in Lagos. Because we went into the market, we already have deep knowledge of the market in both Lagos and Abuja. So when she reached out saying that she wanted something that was nearing completion and that if she bought it, she could pay in installments, and by completion, she could sell it for good profits, we said, say no more. And we looked at the list of developers that we already had on our hands, looked at the projects that they had in prime location, which was Lekki Phase 1, a place where there's existing demand year in, year out. We looked at that project, inspected it, verified the title documents, verified the quality of the construction, and then we proceeded for her to secure the property. And she secured that property sometime in September 2024. August, September 2024, and less than a year later, the property was fully completed and handed over to her, and she sold the property back into the market for over 100 million naira in profit. Ladies and gentlemen, off-plan investment is very, very interesting, and it's one of the most rewarding real estate investment strategies that you can apply in Nigeria. So if you are watching this in Nigeria and you're thinking about getting off-plan properties, or you're in the diaspora and you've been thinking about buying properties in Nigeria without really having to stretch yourself too thin, off-plan is one of the easiest ways, because remember that you're getting the property at below the market rate, and also you most likely get a flexible payment plan to allow you to own that property without having to take a mortgage with high interest rates or even having to break the bank just to be able to afford the property. So if you want to get yourself the right off-land property to invest in, whether in Lagos or Abuja, do well to reach out to us, because we have a deep understanding of the market and we can guide you through every stage of the process. We already have our own team of lawyers and surveyors that we work with in both Lagos and Abuja, and we also partner very well with your own lawyer and surveyor to ensure that your interest is well protected and your funds and your investment is fully secure and safe. We currently have several opportunities in the real estate market for you to look into, so we'll be waiting to hear from you so that we can guide you through the process and help you be on your way to make bank with off-plan investments in Nigeria. I've been Maryam Shuaib, and if you have found this video helpful, please do well to share it with your loved ones, and don't forget to give us a comment in the comment section about what you've learned and what you've experienced in real estate markets in Nigeria, and also give us a thumbs up, and please subscribe to our channel so that you can see subsequent videos I will put up on the channel. We cannot wait to hear from you. Cheers!